So this video will be a full beginner's guide on how you can build an AI system like this that leverage multiple prompts, multiple large language models, multiple documents, so that you can automate repetitive tasks that happen inside of your company or your agency, so you can focus on the only tasks that you need to be focusing in order for your company to grow. So this would be most likely sales. And in order for you to be able to understand and build one of these, we'll first have to cover foundations. Then we'll go over structures, different structures that you can build, prompts, data, use cases, and testing. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the platform I'm using for this is Stack AI. I have a link in the description so you can use it as well. Basically, whenever you start a new project, this is the view that you're gonna have. So an input and an output. Let me just cover what you have, every single functionality here, so you can decide for yourself if you want to do it. So you can have different forms of when the system starts. So for example, when you receive an email from someone, for example, or with a specific keyword. You can have when a type form is submitted, or you can literally schedule it, for example, every 35 minutes this will run. For the outputs, you can send it to a few places. So this is Notion, Airtable, email, Zapier, or Make if you want to then add some automations. I won't cover them in this video, but on a later video I'll go into them. The next thing you'll have here is the intelligence systems. So these are all the large language models, which is the most important part of these systems. This is the actual AI of it. So you have OpenAI one, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Mistral. I'm not going to go into all of them. It's important for you to understand which is the specific functionality of each one of them. So when is OpenAI better than Claude? When is Claude better than OpenAI? I'm going to be making a video more in detail about this, but I've made a few videos about this already. So the last one in my channel, so the whiteboard one, covers this all. Then you have knowledge base and data loaders, which is basically the documentation that you will assist the system in order to make a specific task. Have other things like vector sectors, vector stores, you don't need to worry about these plugins. It's very good. If you, for example, if you want to take data from Shopify, run it through here and then have an output. So for example, these are all the sales that I made last month. So analyze the sales that were made last month and give me a full report. And then send me an email with it. This is something that you can do. You have document readers, you have logic. This is more in depth, so conversational routing. This is in case if you're building a chatbot. So for example, okay, if answer is X, then go here. If answer is Y, then go here. And then you can build this very into detail. We're not going to cover it all. We're not going to cover it at all today, because this is meant to be a beginner guide. And you have a couple of these. So for example, you can leverage a different Stack AI project here and start connecting them all. Like I said, this is also complex. And then you have multi-models. So for example, if you want to take an audio, run it through a large language model and paste the output. Okay. For this demonstration that I'm going to do today, we are going to be creating an intelligence system to write ads, 1-minute ads. The first thing we'll have to do is we'll have to figure out the inputs that are needed in order for the system, the large language model, to be able to write the ads. Think of it this way. If you were to ask a mentor of yours that is better at ads than you, what information would you have to provide him in order for him to be able to do the ads? So this could be things like, okay, who is the ad targeted at? What are they struggling with? / what gap are they trying to address? How do you address it? Okay. Who you help before? Want limiting belief they have. For example, let's use this 5. This 5 would then be turned into inputs. And I'm gonna show you right now what inputs actually look like. So you'd come here, you have two sections on your large language model. You have the instructions. This is where we'll teach the LLM how to do the task. And this is prompts. Prompts, in this case, it's a different thing. Prompts is where you connect all the inputs and later on a data loader and you mention what they are. So for example, this is going to be input 0, it's going to be input 1, it's going to be input 2, this is going to be input 3, and this is going to be input 4. So basically what we are signaling here to the large language model is whenever this information are filled, they will know that, okay, this information will be who the ad targeted at, this one will be what are they struggling with, and so on, so on. And if we come here, because I'm going to show you, this is where you're going to build the system, but it's not where you will be using it. You'll have here, I'm going to show you right now how it is. It appears like this, in 0, out 0. You'll come here in general and you're basically going to specify this, and this will start to make more sense as we go. Then you save changes, you come here, and now you have here. So for example, whenever you, an employee of yours or a client comes here, all they have to do is answer these questions, submit, and something will happen here. In this case, nothing will happen because we haven't prompted it yet. Okay, so now we've covered the inputs specifically for the hooks. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting some instructions. The instructions go a little bit like this. You first want to give it some roles and skills. So for example, for this case, you are an expert copywriter, the best of the best at writing 1-minute ads. 1-minute ads that capture the attention of the viewer and makes them stop the endless scrolling and listen to what you have to say. Your job in this step is going to be to write 35-word hook, calls out this ICP, their problem, gives them a reason to continue watching until the end of the video by opening an open loop that will only be closed at the end. This is the same thing if you were teaching a copywriter of yours or an employee of yours how to do this. Let's do this for now and let's test, for example. So who the ad is targeted at? Ad companies, AI companies, AI companies. What are they struggling with? They are struggling to keep their data secure. I am a cybersecurity company who has a protocol that we implement companies to keep their data secure. OpenAI, for example. What is one limiting belief they have? They are not 100% sure, they are not convinced that their data can be fully secured. And now we're gonna run it once, because you have two ways where you can test it. Because we put a doc. Where did we put the doc? Oh. Okay, so this is a good error. This platform is very easy to use because whenever you get an error, it's gonna come here. So error in note, LLM 0 could not find doc 0 for LLM memory. You're gonna go into settings, you're gonna see here the input ID was doc0 instead of input 0. So change it, it can be 0, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. But now it's gonna run. But before it runs, let me explain to you something. You have two ways in which you can test for the outputs. You have in the build section, which is where we are right now. Then you have on the export. The initial testings that you're gonna do, you wanna do them here because it's easier and faster to run. But when you are more comfortable with the outputs and you just wanna see really how they look, you're gonna be wanting to test here. Why? Because this is where your clients and your employees will use it, not here. So let's run it, see what we get, and then we're gonna start adding things. So for example, the first thing that I would add is don't give me emojis right at a B2B tone. I'm gonna test it again. If you have seen any of my videos before, you would know that every change that you make is gonna be in the instructions. So for example, okay, the open loop must promise a certain reward if they watch till the end of the video. So this is something like, okay, if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to be giving away a full doc on how you can do this, the reward. So what do we have to do? We have to add an input, which is the reward at the end of the video, and this is going to be input 5. Let's run it again. And I forgot to fill it. I have a product, a free product. I'm giving away a free product that they can use to secure up to 50% of their data. Takes 2 minutes to implement. You might be thinking, okay, but this takes a lot of time to do and to test and all of that. What you have to keep in mind is once this is built, all you have to do is come here, and whenever you need a new ad or new email or a new piece of copy, a new sales letter, whatever it is, just fill all of this, and in 30 seconds you have an ad exactly like you want. For example, okay, so for example, the ad must speak to one person only. I want to see how this changes the attention. You see how AI is dangerous? Look at this. Okay, so I would come here. A certain avatar set of companies. See how this goes. Okay, I don't like this. So what am I gonna start to do? Because I don't like this. First, I'm gonna remove memory. Then I'm gonna upgrade the temperature a little bit. I'm gonna save and I'm gonna run. You can see that it is not working. This is a specific reason that whenever you do a lot of changes at once, the AI system gets confused. So what do we do in this case? Let me remove this, let me remove this. Simple. You start a new project from scratch and you paste everything that you did, and you're gonna see instantly how different it is. So let's come here, new project. The output disappeared, no? Okay. And we're gonna try as well. We're gonna try with 2 different LLMs so you can see the difference. 3. Like I said, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that comes here and gets it at first, because that's not the reality of business and whatever you do. So I'm literally showing you step by step the whole process. I'm gonna have 2 large language models. So here we'll have Claude 3 Opus, and here we're gonna have OpenAI so we can test them against each other. And now we're gonna connect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing here. Used but not connect. Okay, so we're missing an input. You can see anytime it misses something, it's gonna put a warning, so it's very easy for you to know if anything is missing. We're gonna send this one up here, and we're gonna send this one down here, so we can test them one against each other. And hopefully, let me turn off memory. Let me put this a bit. This needs to be down below. Memory off. You're gonna see how different it is right now, just by us building it in a different one, because the prompt is the same and the prompt was good. The no emojis, but here we have emojis. Why is it still giving us emojis? Okay, so we're gonna have to fix it. Okay, so in this case I'm gonna go with Claude 3 Opus. With GPT, it was a Claude problem, which is not normal. Okay, so let's say this is our hook. Now what we can do is we can add a database on hooks that we might have. So let me stop it and go get a database. Okay, so I've gotten a database that I've put here. I'm gonna put this up here. Now this is how you reference to the database. So firstly you have to divide, like you see, all things here with 3 dots, not 3 dots but 3 lines. Then you're gonna go like, okay, this is a database with examples of how to write hooks. And on databases you can do 2 types of databases. So you can teach it, have a database with teaching the large language model how to write it, or you can have a database full of examples of how you've written in the past. In this case it's how to write, because I want to keep it simple. And then you're gonna go here, doc 0, and you're gonna run, testing it again. Okay, so this is gonna be our first step. The next step after this is we're gonna write the body. And for the body you have 2 different ways that you can now do it. You can either connect all of the inputs to here, to OpenAI, or you can connect this to here. So the information that comes from this large language model will go to the second large language model, and it will do it all again. This is very good when you are using a lot of inputs like this, so you don't have to have multiple nodes, because like the more nodes you have, the slower it is. So you don't want to have, you want to keep it clean. Let's say, so the first thing you will do is, okay, this is this is the hook for the body that you will now script. And we're gonna create this. You're an expert copywriter, the best of the best at writing 1 minute as a capture. Is going to be to write the body for the ad that's going to be about 150 words long. In this section you are meant to display all of your expertise regarding the subject that you are talking about, making sure that by the end of the body the viewer goes like, wow, that was wow, I got to watch that again. I'm gonna put this at the beginning, which is your specific skill set is taking complex information and explaining it in a way that anyone and everyone can understand. We don't need this because this is for the hooks. It's gonna be the full prompt, and we gotta change the model. But now we need inputs for the body. So for example, input 6 is how you help them fix the problem, so how the solution actually works. Input 7 is some objections they might have related to this process that you need to overcome subtly. And now what are we going to do here? We are going to send this information to a new output. We're going to connect it. And we're going to write some information here. So how do we help fix the problem? Okay, give me 1 second so I can reset. Okay, so I just asked it on Claude, and this is what I'm gonna paste in so that you know what I was doing. So let me come get this. Some objections they might have, which is that will take a lot of time and add complexity to our systems. Now let's see how it goes. So this one is going to be first. Okay. I like that, which is not normal. And then let's say this one is going to be the outro. Used but not connected. Okay. First things first, for the outro we need to close the loop. So here, make sure you close the loop you opened at the beginning by instructing them how to get the reward. And now this is very important. So the reward is input 5. So we'll have to connect this and say the reward input 5. And we'll have to add an input here, which is what they have to do in order to get the reward. So this could be input 8. This could be things like click the link below, or comment the word Y. For this, let's put comment the link below. Okay, for this one, the specific skill set is getting the viewer to take the action you want and need them to take. Your life depends on it, so get them to take the action we want them to. Slash the action we want them to take is going to be to write the outro, the CTA for this ad, which is going to be 45 words long. Okay, and this we don't need it. Right now what I want to test is one, if he closes the loop. So remember at the beginning we said if you stay until the end we're gonna give you access to this. I want to see if he does it, and it's bugging a bit. Okay, we're back, so let's grab an output, let's put it here. Okay, and we can see LLM2 is missing, so we're gonna add that in. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I just restarted this, we're all good. LLM2 is the previous part of the body. Let's run it. Okay, I'm gonna make the changes in a bit. This is good. Do you see how it starts with a hook? Now this is not very problem wise because we can just not use it, but let's try to get it to start. Wait, here. Don't repeat the hook introduction to the video, simply script out the body part of it, so the how. We aren't adding any complexity here, so what, why, how, structure, or databases, massive databases. Okay, yeah, now it's working. We are simply doing it based on prompting and instructions, and you can see in the span of 28 minutes it's starting to look nice. Now this is what we're going to do. We are gonna add in each one, don't use sales jargon words. And we're gonna copy, and we're gonna put it in each of these. Now let me give you one tip, because now what we're gonna do is publish it. You always want to remove the inputs from here when you publish, because if not it's gonna take these inputs whenever you run it on build, as I'm gonna show you in a bit. So let's remove this. And what you want to do before you publish is take this and write it here, so then you can just copy and paste it, as you'll see in a bit. And now we're gonna publish it. We give it a name, hooks. And this now is gonna be a different section in which we're gonna test it. If you want to use form instead of chat interface, but I can show you what this is. It's basically where you ask it, I'm doing X, do this. But we want to plug it as form. First thing you'll be taken here, so form general, so export form general. First thing you need to do is tick all of these boxes, the inputs, and tick this. Then you're gonna write here what this output is, what this is, what this is, and now we're gonna copy paste this. So this, oops, this, this. Okay, so we're missing one. Okay, I saw the mistake that I did. So this is input 6. This is input 7. Okay, now just missing input 8. You're gonna save changes. And when you come here, this is what you'll have. And this is the platform that you and your employees will use. You'll come here, okay, now let's do something different. So this is at agency owner, no. Owners of lead generation companies. They are struggling to adapt to the new deliverability changes. I have a protocol that I've developed internally that makes sure deliverability is always 100%. For example, lead gen 1 is XYZ1. They don't think it's possible to have 100% deliverability. A full SOP on how they can do it by themselves. It's how you fix the problem, so it's a 3-step implementation. Transfer domains to our system, code something in them, add a layer of security. It's completely off the top of my mind. They don't trust that this will work and are concerned what will happen if their deliverability fails because they delegated it to another company. Comment the word deliverability. And let's see what we get, because this is where you'll be testing. For example, I would like this to be, are you a lead generation company owner struggling with the new deliverability changes? I wouldn't use this. I like this. Okay, so let's break it down like this so I can tweak it. So this changes this. The body, I want to make it, where did I give it? 150 words long, so this is not 150 words, is it? Let me see. Literally live, this will have no, oh yeah, it's done. No, yeah, this is not. So how can we do this when it isn't working? Have a couple of ways. Let's see how this goes. Basically, what you are doing here is looking at what you don't like here, and just like imagine it was your copywriter that wrote this. What inputs, what changes would you ask him to make to what he wrote? This is what you will be now changing here. So let's test it again. And as you'll see, you have a lot of ways to change it. If it doesn't work now, I'll show you the other two. If it does, it will have to stay to another video. Okay, so the first one, it was this is good. Nice, okay, so I like this. But what if I didn't like this? I'm gonna show you two ways. Because once you have built the skeleton, then it's very easy to make changes to it. Firstly, you can add data to it. I didn't add much data to this. Next, we're gonna try this on Claude again, because it didn't work before, but it can work now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 9 inputs. 3, 4, put them up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Literally, we're just copying a solution from one place to another to see how differently it looks. And now it's 3 different large language models, and now it's going to be Anthropic. It's 3 different, and this one connects to this one, if you remember correctly. This one connects to this one, and the outputs, 3 outputs. Okay, and I used one database up here, which was this one, which I'm gonna use here, and now I have to connect all of it. So here we connect until the 5th input, which is this one. So let's start with this. Seems boring, but it's actually very, very easy. And here we connected 6 and 7 on the second one. Like, the hard work is done here, now it's just testing. And now we just need to paste all the inputs. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, I understood. Used but not connected, right? Because we connected the reward. If you remember here, it's not this one, it's this. Okay, now let's copy the other one. We're gonna have a mistake, which is the large language model is 0. And now we need to do this. And now we can go to export, so we can copy the inputs form 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, copy paste. Now what I want to see is, did I save a project? No, I didn't. So this is gone. Yes, I didn't. Okay. Let's do same one. Companies, deliverability, do equals changes, keeping. How to fix the problem. Keep in mind, this is the same inputs, everything, we're just testing now GPT versus Claude. I transfer their domains over to my server. I code something in. I add a layer of security. Layer security. Oops. Now this is number 3 and this is number 2. If this doesn't work, they will ruin their domains, therefore their campaigns, therefore their client. Let's see. Nice. Okay, so the okay, yeah, I did one mistake, which is I pressed this dot first instead of this. So now body is here and CTA is here. Okay, so let's pause it. Okay, and there we have it. We built something that now builds, that writes the way we want it to, and now you can start getting complex with it. So let's say each time you onboard a new client, they have to fill a form with these questions. You can do that every time this is done. This will connect to the large language model, so each time, every time the form is filled, it will run through this system, and then, for example, you can take it to Zapier or Make, where it formats it and then sends an email, or you can write it directly to Airtable. So from this, in this way you can make it more systematized. But this is the intelligence system that performs the task the way you want it to perform the task. And this is very basic, because I didn't add, like I told you, data. I didn't mix different large language models, because for example you can do something here, which is you can start with an OpenAI but then go to an Anthropic and then go to an OpenAI again, and you can do these types of connections. What about this? Have you ever seen a triangle connection? This is a triangle connection. You can connect different large language models, you can use different models. So for example, you can use Opus here, you can use Sonnet here. You can do so many things that I don't have all the time in the world to explain to you in this video. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, make sure to watch it again, because we covered a lot of different things, a lot of tiny details that were spoken in each of these. But yeah, I'm gonna leave a couple of links down in the description that are gonna help you building these systems. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, whatever you want to do, share it with your buddies. And yeah, this is it for today.